Okay, so hi everyone. I'm Judy from grade 11 discipline and I'll be talking about fake news. And before I start, let us take a look at this quote right here. Not everything we see online is true. Every day, people use social media to read news, watch videos, and share information. But not everything we see online is true. Some information is false and shared by mistake, while others are spread intentionally to mislead people or cause harm. In today's digital world, fake and harmful information can spread very quickly and affect many people. Because of this, it is important for us to learn how to identify and avoid false information online. With that, today I will be discussing fake news, including misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. But before we begin, let us look at the objectives of our discussion. By the end of this discussion, we should be able to understand what fake news is, differentiate misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, identify real life examples, and learn how to verify information responsibly before sharing it online. Now that we know the objectives of our discussion, let us now understand what fake news really is. Fake news is false or misleading information presented as real news. It is usually created or shared to trick people, gain attention, influence opinions, or earn money through clicks and views. Fake news can appear on social media, websites, or even messages, and it often looks believable because it may use real images, headlines, or emotions. However, the information is not accurate or verified by trustworthy sources. So, to better analyze fake news, we categorize it into three distinct forms: misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, which differs in intent and impact. Let us start with misinformation. So, misinformation is false or inaccurate information that spreads without the intention to deceive others. In other words, the person sharing it genuinely believes it's true, even though it is not. It usually happens when people quickly share posts, headlines, or messages without checking reliable sources or verifying the facts first. It often spreads easily on social media because it can look convincing, especially if it includes emotional language, shocking claims, or edited images. However, the key idea here is that there is no intent to harm or to mislead. It is simply a result of misunderstanding, confusion, or lack of fact checking. So, to better understand this, here is an example.
Babarilin niyo kami! Sige, barilin niyo kami! Gusto! Oh, baril! Baril! Babarilin niyo kami!
So, recently, a Philippine official that a Philippine
Baril!
official drew a gun on protesters during a Senate standoff. If atong tanawan, many people had already liked and shared the post, specifically 197,000 likes and 35,000 shares. Wow. So, the people who probably shared this type of information may have believed it is true, even though it was later proven to be inaccurate or misleading. So, to verify the information, a structured fact checking process was followed. First, the source was examined. So, the post was circulating on social media without any official information or official confirmation from government agencies or credible news outlets. It was not posted by the NBI or any verified authority supporting supporting evidence was also checked through reliable websites and news reports, but there was no legitimate sources confirming that an NBI official drew a gun during a protest or any Senate related incident. And next, the video itself was closely reviewed. Upon careful observation, the object in the NBI official's hand was clearly not a gun, but a phone. No, as you can see in that photo right there. This visual evidence directly contradicts the claim made in the viral posts of Facebook. No, fact checking reports were also consulted, including AFP fact check, which confirms that the claim was false. No credible no credible evidence supported the alleged incident, and the post had already been flagged as misleading by fact checkers. This reinforces the importance of relying on verified sources and fact checking organizations before sharing information online. So, now the post appears to have been shared by users who believe it, and it was believed it was real without properly verifying it, since there was no intent to deceive, but the information itself was still false. It is still classified as misinformation. Now, for the next example, this one is a viral post circulating online claiming that a massive ash plum had risen from Mount Hibok. So, the claim quickly spread on social media, specifically here sa Facebook, and caused concern among users as it suggested a possible volcanic eruption or increased volcanic activity. So, to determine whether this claim is false or not, I followed a fact checking process. So, first, the source of the post was checked to see if it came from an official or verified news. Some of the posts were shared by individual users or pages without clear official confirmation or credible backing, which already raised doubts about its reliability. Next, supporting evidence from reliable agencies and trusted news outlets was reviewed. So, like, there were no verified reports confirming the claim about Mount Hibok ash plum, which further suggests that the information may not be accurate. After that, the information was verified using fact checking organizations such and official sources, including Bombo Radio and monitoring agencies such as FIVOX. And reverse as image search was also used to gather additional context. So these sources were confirmed that there was no eruption or unusual ash emission at the time. No? And the circulating images and claims were not supported by official volcanic activity reports. So the intent behind the information was considered. So in this case, it appears that the post was shared by people who believed it was true without the intention to mislead others. Because of that, this situation is classified as misinformation. So, so far we've looked at false information that people share by mistake, no? But what if the information is made up on purpose? That's where this information comes in. So, and this information, sorry, is false or misleading information that is created and shared with the intention to deceive or manipulate people. So unlike misinformation, it is not an honest mistake. The person or group spreading it knows it is false but still shares the information to influence opinions, cause confusion, or gain an advantage, no? And it often appears as fake news, edited images, or misleading headlines designed to look real and trustworthy. So, this information is commonly used in politics, scams, or online propaganda because it can shape how people think and react. A clear example of disinformation can be seen in this viral claim about an energy lockdown. So, the energy lockdown claim is considered disinformation because it was intentionally created and spread to mislead people, not simply shared by a mistake. So it refers to viral posts claiming that the government or authorities planned an energy lockdown, suggesting restrictions or control over electricity use or supply. However, there was no official announcement, policy, or credible report supporting this claim, and it is classified as disinformation because the content was designed to look believable and often used alarming language to create fear, confusion, or just distrust towards authorities. Okay, now to examine whether this post is fake news, a structured fact checking process was followed. First, I looked through the source. So, like, a major red flag is the use of a logo resembling the Department of Energy (DOE), um, while the post is labeled under Energy Sector PH, which is not an official or recognized government agency in the Philippines. Legitimate announcements are then uh, always issued directly by verified institutions like the Department of Energy, not vague or unofficial names. So, this mismatch strongly suggests that the post was made to appear credible but is actually misleading. In addition, the account that shared the post is not affiliated with the DOE and appears to be a random user posting alarmist messages such as 17 days na lang. Wow. Which further raises suspicion na nagwa-warning. And next, supporting evidence was checked by reviewing official announcements, policies, and credible news reports regarding the alleged energy lockdown. So, no government agencies has released any statement that there are no reliable sources confirming that such an event exists. And the content itself was also analyzed for signs of manipulation. So the post uses alarming and urgent language, instructing people to prepare items like power banks, and solar equipment, and candle lamps. Hui. So, like, this type of wording is commonly used to create fear and pressure people into believing and that sharing the information without a verification. So, also fact checking organizations and tools such as reverse image search were used to verify the claim. No? So, reports from outlets like Rappler and Verifiles confirmed that the energy lockdown claim is false. The Presidential Commission's Communications Office, PCO, also warned the public about misleading posts involving fabricated government announcements and emphasized that appropriate action may be taken against those responsible. So, the post was clearly designed to mislead and create fear by presenting a false government action as real. Since it was intentionally created to deceive the public, it is classified as disinformation. Okay, so another example is a viral post falsely claimed that classes and work were suspended in the Philippines from March 4 to 6, 2026 due to a potential attack by Iran. So, no government agency in the Philippines issued such a suspension, and there was no credible threat of Iranian airstrikes on the country during that time. So, to identify whether this post is fake news, I followed a structured verification process. First, I checked whether I checked the source of the viral post. So, like, it did not come from any official Philippine government agency such as Malacanang, DepEd, CHED, or NDRMC. The advisory mainly circulated on social media without any verified government confirmation, which is already a major red flag. Next, official evidence was reviewed. No government agencies issued any announcement about the suspension of classes or work from March 4 to 6, 2026, and there were no credible reports linking it to a supposed Iranian attack. The lack of any official statement strongly suggests that the claim is not legitimate. So, the content was also analyzed and found to use fear based language involving war, national security threats, and possible attacks. This kind of wording is often used to create urgency and push people to share information without proper verification. In addition, comments under the post showed that um showed that several users were already calling it out as fake news and warning others not to believe it, which further supports doubts about its accuracy. Finally, verification was done through authorities and credible news sources such as ABS-CBN, the official PNP Facebook page, and Verifiles. These sources confirmed that the advisory was fake and that there was no credible threat to the Philippines. So, the post was deliberately presented as an official government advisory to mislead the public and create panic, since it was intentionally fabricated to spread to deceive since it was intentionally fabricated and since it was intentionally fabricated and spread to deceive people, it is classified as disinformation. So far, we've looked at false information shared accidentally and intentionally, but there are also cases where genuine information is used to harm others. This is called malinformation. What is malinformation? Malinformation is genuine or factual information that is shared deliberately to cause harm, damage someone's reputation, invade privacy, or create conflict. Unlike misinformation and disinformation, the information itself is real, but it is used in a harmful or misleading content. This can include leaking private messages, sharing confidential files, exposing personal information, or spreading real content in a way that humiliates, threatens, or manipulates others. So, a clear example of malinformation is this one. So, um, this is a massive PhilHealth data breach linked to the Medusa ransomware hackers in September 2023. So this is a screenshot circulating on Telegram, showed chat conversations sharing over 70 terabytes of files containing data related to Philippine health insurance records, and the leaked files allegedly include sensitive and genuine information from PhilHealth members and employees. So, unlike misinformation or disinformation, the issue was not about false information. The data being shared, the data being shared was believed to be real, but it was exposed publicly without consent after hackers breached PhilHealth system. The Medusa hackers reportedly used platforms such as Kato, Telegram, to distribute the stolen documents and threaten the release of even more confidential records. Because authentic private information was intentionally leaked and spread in a harmful way, which put affected individuals at risk of scams, identity theft, and private violations, it is classified as malinformation. So, first, the source was examined. So, the circulating screenshots reports showing field health related files being shared on Telegram gained credibility after field health itself released an urgent public notice regarding a data breach incident. Next, official statements were reviewed. PhilHealth confirms that a cyber attack involving the Medusa ransomware group had occurred and issued warnings to the public about leaked data and potential attempts connected to the breach. So the content was also analyzed, and the leaked files were reported to contain sensitive and private information belonging to PhilHealth members and employees. These are records that should not have been publicly accessible, indicating a serious privacy violation. A further assessment was made on the nature of the information. The data itself was not fabricated or false. Instead, it was believed to be genuine but improperly exposed and circulated without authorization. So, the information is clarified as malinformation. While the data is real, it was leaked and shared publicly in a way that can harm individuals and violate privacy. It was used maliciously despite being authentic. No? As shown in these examples, not all false or harmful information is spread in the same way. Some are shared accidentally, some are deliberately created to deceive, while others involve real information that is exposed and used to cause harm. Knowing the types of fake news is not enough. No? We also need to understand how to prevent ourselves from believing or sharing it. So, how can we avoid fake news in our daily lives? First, we should always check the source. Before believing any information, we need to make sure it comes from a credible and official website or page, and avoid trusting unknown sources immediately. Second, we should read beyond the headline. Some headlines are made to grab attention and may not fully show the truth of the article. So, it is important to read the full content before reacting or sharing. And lastly, we should always think before sharing. Even a single post can spread quickly online, so we must avoid sharing information that we are not sure is true. So, by following these simple steps, we can help stop the spread of fake news and become responsible digital citizens. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.